Well, hello everyone and welcome back to another video of the F1 22 Drive Crimo with Alpha Tauri. Episode number 30 today for the Canadian Grand Prix of Season 2, round number 8. If you missed the previous episode uploaded on Monday at Baku, I recommend you go and check that out. And of course subscribe if you're new to the channel. See plenty more F1 22 Drive Crimo videos as and when they come out. But coming into this one then, R&D wise, looking at some aero, we've got another one coming in 2 of the 3 days. This one's locked though because it requires a DRS, which is annoying on the rear downforce. When we've got a capacity, unfortunately, you're going to need 2 at a time. So the capacity's reached on that. So we're going to look at the Sashi side instead. We are the third to wear a Sashi now. Although we do have pretty much all the weight reduction upgrades we could want, so we're going to start looking at weight redistribution. I don't think the Sashi's that bad. I think it's because we've not really prioritised tyre wear upgrades and stuff like that. So that's a minor upgrade. We'll keep those 1,037 resource points for a rainy day, because we've got to start building some of these upgrades now as we go throughout this latter half of the season. They're going to start costing 2,000, maybe even 3,000 R&D points. We start getting to the ultimate upgrades. But yes, not a lot's changed in terms of the R&D tree. McLaren are starting to fall behind the likes of Alpine and Ferrari and Mercedes, and we're slowly trying to escape from Alfa Romeo as they move to qualify. At Canada, a track that I'm not going to be honest. I think the last time I won around here was that Fluke 2020 career mode episode where Alfa Romeo. It's been that long. Typically was a good track historically, but in later games, sort of going away from the player, I find. But anyway, we're down here in P12, right behind Gasly. With our first lap, we'll try and improve and try and jump Gasly, try and get in the top 10 as well, if we can. Not that that really makes a difference, just trying to get as high up as possible. Only fractionally up through our first sector, slightly down on the Latifi. We tend to gain the most on the AI through the first sector, but we've gained a lot in the middle sector where we lose a lot of time in my first run compared to the AI. So look, we've gained 0.2 of a second now just through that corner alone, and then we're slightly faster than the Latifi through the middle sector. Sainz has gone wide. Sainz wide there at the hairpin. That's definitely his time ruined in the Ferrari as well. We're going to try and follow him through. He definitely was wide there. Luckily we didn't go wide ourselves. Trying to get the best lines, but Sainz has bottled his lap with 0.3 up on our previous best time. We dropped to 15. I think that is P11. It is P11, so not quite the top 10 that we were after, which is a shame. But we are only slightly off Gasly, and the AI are probably only get even faster and faster as Leclerc on pole from Norris and Verstappen. Verstappen will be annoyed that he's not able to get pole away from his rival. He's been able to close the gap to Leclerc to 2 points now. Done some hard work for Verstappen in the Alpine car, a car that is there, but Latifi has struggled in it. Enough about that though. It is time for the race, today's Canadian Grand Prix.
It's time once again then to go racing here in Montreal, the second largest French-speaking city in the world and home since 1978 to the Canadian Grand Prix. With top speeds around 210 miles per hour heading into the overtaking opportunity of turn 13, the 2.7 miles of the Circuit Gilles Villeneuve are some of the quickest on the Formula One calendar. There are 14 corners in total, with 60% of the lap taken at full throttle, and average speeds clock in at about 130 miles per hour. Before we begin, let's take a quick look at the grid lineup for today's race. Charles Leclerc lines up on pole position, edging out Lando Norris, who'll start from P2. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Verstappen, Perez, Sir Lewis Hamilton and Sainz, Vettel, Russell, Gasly, and Daniel Ricciardo. Phoenix, Latifi, Kevin Magnussen and Bottas. Mick Schumacher, Schwartzman, Lance Stroll and Yuki Tsunoda. Albon, they'll be starting further back after an earlier grid penalty. And Guan Yu Zhou. Now, it's almost time for lights out, so let's go down to the track. And joining me again for the race today, Natalie Pinkham. Now, can I get your take on Max Verstappen? That was a great win in the last race. Can they keep that momentum going this weekend?
Well, there are never any guarantees in this business, but certainly the performance last time out will have boosted their confidence coming into this race.
After the points finished last race, let's aim to keep that momentum going.
Thanks, Mark. I think we can. Race strategy is a little bit closer than it is at other tracks I've found around here. Only very narrowly slower on mediums. So the mediums is a tempting strategy. Medium to soft, that's a very tempting strategy. It's only ever so slightly slower. But we just opted to go for the softs because we're starting slightly further down. Ricciardo down the mediums. Has vibrant lights then, and away we go. And it's, well, initially a good start, but then of course the AI get that second phase, the launch that they're so OP at. We're going to dive down the inside of Gasly. Gasly tries and cuts us off around the outside in turn 2. We have a look at Vettel, I think there's in the Ferrari car, unable to get past Vettel, but we are ahead of Gasly. But Vettel's slow there, being slowed up by Hamilton and Sainz going side by side. We're going to dive down not one but 2 cars there. Getting a bit wide there with Russell, and that allows Vettel through on Russell as well, which is what he was looking to do anyway. But you know, that was a bit of understeer there. Completely my fault to push Russell wide, but in the end, that's what we're going to do. Is we're watching Gasly trying to have a go at Ricciardo as well. I want Gasly to try and follow me through these cars because you know we've got a good straight line speed compared to the likes of Mercedes. Mercedes is the team we are fighting in the Constructors' Championship, believe it or not. So we're watching George Russell having a snap of oversteer at the final corner, and that allows Gasly through. So thank you very much for Gasly there. As up at the front, bad news for Max Verstappen. He's been jumped by Sergio Perez as well, who's on the podium at Canada. Sainz as well. Those top 5 drivers are miles in front of everyone else, as now we've got Vettel and Hamilton battling side by side through the hairpin. Hamilton should get the better traction, but remember, he's the slower straight line speed compared to the Ferrari, and the Ferrari, they've both got DRS to be fair, the Ferrari should be there. There's another twitch there for George Russell, and now Daniel Ricciardo is all over the Brit in the Mercedes car. So this hasn't been a very good opening race, but Russell is going to generally keep the position over Ricciardo. As well, Russell though struggling in that Mercedes car as we're coming in the end of lap number 7 for our one and only stop onto a set of medium compound tyres. Let's see what the stop time is. I stopped there 2.3. That's the fastest I've had so far in this year's game. Not had anything faster than that, I don't think, but correct me if I'm wrong in the comments below. But yeah, Hamilton a lot closer to me though through the pit stop, so I don't know what's going on there, whether, you know, how he managed to gain that time, but he's only 8 tenths behind now, where he's a lot further away throughout the pit stop, so he must have had a top sub 2 seconds. As through the pit stop phase, Sergio Perez has jumped Lando Norris. That's the problem for Lando. He's not having a great, he's going apart in the races for him. As there is Daniel Ricciardo out on hard tyres for some bizarre reason. He could have gone to softs. And unfortunately for Gasly, side by side for Gasly, Gasly does keep the position, but you know they're going to be side by side. But at this point on lap 11, I decide to play the Alpha Tauri Masterplan and slow them all up. We're going to try and back the 2 Mercs. By the way, Russell has jumped ahead of Gasly, so Gasly, that's unfortunate for Gasly. We're going to try and get Gasly at least in front of one of the Mercs, possibly even both. As well as squeezing Vettel to the right hand side there, as he's got a little bit of damage, but he's got a lovely switchback move there, as Vettel went far too deep into the final corner onto the wall of champions. As well as we squeezed in there, he just took too much curbing there, went far too straight on. We took a tight a tighter exit, which gave us the position, and that's going to allow Hamilton to have a go again in this Netflix style camera on Vettel, and he does get the position. So Vettel back behind Hamilton again, and Hamilton, it's me versus Hamilton once again in this career, in this season, second season. We're going to defend the inside this time, force him out. Not any love lost between myself and Hamilton's AI throughout this career mode, and we force him out and allows Vettel to have a go there. He has to take a bit of the curbing, whether he got a bit of floor damage or not. I don't know. As Gasly there is losing out to Ricciardo, Vettel and Hamilton are still going side by side through into the middle of the section. Vettel eventually gets in front, and there is Ricciardo in front of Gasly, confirmed. So we've got Vettel this time, slowing up. Well, Hamilton's down at the hairpin again, and now Hamilton's all over the back of me. But remember, we've got much better straight line speed than Mercedes. The Mercedes is a snail in the straight line in the second season of career mode, and he goes deep into that corner again, almost swipes into me. Was there a bit of contact there? I think there was from Hamilton's side, as he refused to yield the position. He went far too deep into the corner. Oh yes, he brushed my rear wheel. Nothing I could do without that. And I think that little brush is enough for Hamilton to retire. Again, don't know, as we're watching George Russell, he locks up. Daniel Ricciardo will say thank you very much and moves in front of the Brit in the struggling Mercedes, the sole remaining Mercedes, and Toto's replacement, whoever he is, will not be happy as Vettel has another go. We take out on the outside there this time. Not the ideal defensive position, I must admit, but we're able to keep the position as Gasly and Ricciardo are now going side by side. Not Gasly and Ricciardo, excuse me. It's Ricciardo and Russell. Russell locks up, takes Ricciardo wide. Gasly says thank you very much, and that's Gasly up to P8. So this master plan has got the 6th and 8th place now. Now we just try and, I think that's enough. I don't think Gasly can get Vettel, but we'll try and force him out through these corners. Again, the inside line there, able to keep the position, but if Gasly can get the better line, I don't know. But as our tyres are going off, Charles Leclerc has won the Canadian Grand Prix, exactly what he needed to do to fight back Max Verstappen. From there, we squeeze out Vettel once again, up to the line we come for P6. Very good race, another top 6 position. I'll definitely take that. You know, it's definitely a track we're targeting the points. A good track for the car, which suits the straight line speed nature, the Alpha Tauri does. And you know, a good result all round, getting Gasly P8 as well. You know, I mean, we weren't going to catch the top 5, so deploying the Alpha Tauri Masterplan worked an absolute treat. I mean, yes, we didn't get Vettel, but we got 6th and 8th place, and you know, that's a hell of a lot. That's 12 more. That's 12 points compared to Mercedes 2 today as well. Mercedes, to be fair, did have pace. Russell set a 1:11.9, but Russell kept making mistakes. There was so many mistakes there. That result gives us 63 points. Perez only 82, but Perez did himself a solid today by getting P2, so that might be enough for him to get a extender for the remainder of this season. We'll have to wait and see. We'll be looking to stay at Alpha Tauri, where 6th in the Constructors, only 7 points now behind Mercedes as well, but we can get Gasly scoring consistently. That's where he was, like between Australia and Spain, where he's in the top 10, not like with Monaco and Azerbaijan. Yes, his focus is low, and that's the glitch, you know, that they fix for new career modes, but not for existing career modes, which is a shame. Leclerc matches Verstappen, who's the only other person to win in this season. 4 wins each at the halfway point. Where will this championship go? We'll have to wait and see. In the second half of the season, in the next episode at Silverstone, my home Grand Prix, we will also be renewing our contract with Alpha Tauri, as well as, you know, Perez getting P2 today, exactly what he needs. to play that supporting role. So that's where I'm going to leave it today. If you have enjoyed, leave a like, subscribe, channel if you do see plenty more F1 22 Drive Creamer videos as when they come out. Until the next video then, I'll see you next time. Take care, thanks so much for watching, enjoy your day, and goodbye.